Hey, vinyl community, how's everyone doing today? This is Tim with the University of Vinyl. Here's my new video. That pre-roll was a few days ago in Fort Collins, Colorado, at a local shop that I frequent. So today I'd like to talk about how do you determine whether you should stick with an OG first pressing copy of an album that you like or want compared to an audiophile pressing that has been newly released or is available out there in the marketplace on the secondary market. I have had some struggles with this. It just really depends on how well do you like the album. Is it how special, how important is it to you? Is it just something that is a must-have for your collection that you need to have a good example of? My philosophy is I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not a flipper. I listen to my records, and because I listen, geez, I want them to sound good. Okay, so I'm a minimum VG plus person, and if I can find those OG pressings in near mint, even better. When making these decisions, between OG and audiophile pressings, it really comes down to three factors. Condition of the record. Is it available? Availability out there in the marketplace. And price. It always comes down to price as well. But sometimes you've got to bite the bullet for special things, that mean a lot to you. So I'm going to start off and show you a few albums, things where I've made different decisions, and I'll kind of talk you through for things that are in my collection right now. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, everybody knows it, released in 1967, a UK OG mono. It's going to cost you minimum $150, and it goes all the way up to into, I've seen $1,000. And this, what I have in my collection that I have settled for, although I really don't, I don't like to term it settling for. This is a 2014 reissue mono. It sounds amazing. I paid a little over $100 for this, and I am super happy with this. So I'm good. I'm not going to go out and buy a rough, very good version of this that, yes, has a provenance. It was maybe an original press, but these 2014 mono reissues are fantastic. So if you can still find these, go get them. So in this case, I'm sticking with a reissue. Similar story, another corner piece for anyone's collection, in my opinion, Pet Sounds, the Beach Boys, 1966. I hope I'm right on that. You can't find decent copies of this. The problem that we have here is condition. You can find a lot of copies of this album out there. OG pressings, a little more scarce, but it's tough to find anything that's in very good condition. Now, this is the Analog Productions stereo, 45 RPM, double LP. Never heard it better than this. And this costs $50. So for me, there's just, it's a no-brainer. I opted for this for Pet Sounds. Highway 61 Revisited, Bob Dylan, 1965. You would think that it's going to be tough to find something that's in really good condition from 1965. But you never know. So this is a near mint example. It's on the Columbia 2i. Look at the sheen on that. Now, MoFi have recently put out a series of Dylan reissues that are fantastic. I'm going to talk about one in a minute. But I found this out in the wild at a record shop that I frequent. Someone that I know and trust. This guy takes care. He prices fair. He cleans his records before he puts them out on display. And he has some incredibly good sourcing for northern Colorado, north of Denver. And I've got his price on this, $45. This is come and gone on MoFi. It's no longer in print right now, or it's awaiting a repress at some point. But they're moving on up in price. And I put this on my turntable, and it sounds amazing. So I'm done with this copy. I don't want an audiophile pressing. I've got the OG. Sounds great. Let's stick with Bob Dylan. So in this case, Oh Mercy, landmark album for Bob Dylan, released in 1989, produced by Daniel Lanois. This is an atmospheric album, okay? And it's going to pick up any problems that you have with the condition of the record. It's going to make itself known if you don't have a good pressing of this. And on MoFi, on Discogs, I did a little digging around. And okay, there's a couple copies I might bite at, but they're 35, 40, 45 and up in VG+. So when I heard that MoFi was going to do this on 45 RPM, 2 LPs spread out, stretched out, I bit big time. And this sounds amazing. So I'm done with Oh Mercy. I'm good. The classic debut album from the Cars, R.I.P. Rick Ocasek. This was a party album, right? This thing got played like crazy. And it's not easy to find a well-kept original. And life is short sometimes. And if you keep an eye on what's coming out on the audiophile pressings, and if you jump on these when they are available, when they first come out, fantastic. This was, I believe, somewhere between $35 and $40. I jumped on it, and it sounds great. And I'm good now on the Cars. Debut album, at least. So here we go. We've got an album. Hey, I like Carly Simon. Regardless of this cover, her voice is amazing. And this is one of her stronger albums. Came out in 1972 on Elektra. This is an OG press. And you know what? This thing is pretty good. It's got the heavy duty early 70s cardboard that is in great condition. It's got the heavy duty cardboard inner sleeve as well. And I picked this up for $12. But you know what? You just keep your eyes peeled on those different labels, on what's happening, what's coming out, what's going to be reissued. And found out that Speaker's Corner came out with this album. I played it again this morning. Oh my God. Amazing. And $35. So I'm going to, release the OG that I found back out into the wild at some point and stick with this one. But Speaker's Corner, Corners, the only complaint I have here is the jacket is not as heavy as the OG. They've reproduced that inner sleeve, but it's not the nice, thick, reproduced paper. However, the sound is the thing here. You put this on, and that first OG album sounds good, but this is times 5. So I'm good with that album. I've got all the OG copies of one of my favorite bands, the Talking Heads. This is True Stories. There are reissues out there. I think Rhino has done some. I've heard, reports that they sound good, but to be honest, these albums, if you find them clean, they're really affordable. You're going to pay between $15 and $30 for all of those releases. But I don't need to go searching for reissues on these, in my opinion. I'm really happy with the OGs that I have. Houses of the Holy, 1973, Led Zeppelin, that famous cover done by Hypnosis. Very cool duo art, a couple of art partners out of London. I'm thinking about doing a video on them, actually. But back to the subject here. So this is an original press in decent shape. Someone wrote their name on this cover, of course, as people do or did. The important point here is the record inside is really clean. It's near mint. It plays great. There's no surface noise. There's no pops. There's no clicks. I'm good. Now, and if I needed an audiophile pressing, I don't trust, I hate to say it, but I don't trust the Jimmy Page authorized remasters that he supposedly oversaw a few years ago. I've heard differing opinions on those on the Hoffman Forum. And believe me, when you dip into the Hoffman Forum, you better have a half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour and a half digging into the different threads. But I've got this OG. It sounds perfect to me. The Classic Records press from the mid-2000s when they licensed and did all, I think most of the Led Zeppelin titles. It's way up there. And I don't need it because this sounds great. So in this case, it's the OG. I've got 2 more albums I'm going to talk about today. Oranges and Lemons, XTC, 1989. What an album. One of my favorites. And this is an OG press. Andy Partridge, and he has a label that he's affiliated with called Ape House. They're putting out all of the XTC albums again. I actually bought Apple Venus. It sounds great. But you know what? This is clean. It's near mint. It plays great. I'm happy with this. Not going to need to replace it. So I'm good with XTC, at least with Oranges and Lemons, with an OG copy. There it is, one of the best-selling albums of all time. This is an OG press, and I think it's a BSK 27.7 pressing, and sounded pretty good. I was happy with this until something else came along that I had heard about. And that's the double LP, the 45 RPM pressed at Palace. This thing is one of the best sounding records that I have right now, or albums in my collection. I paid $45 for this about 3 weeks ago in Denver. This thing was originally released, according to my research, in 2009 Record Store Day, I think. I might be wrong on that one. And it sold out quick. And there's been a couple repressings since then. Again, if you go on the Hoffman Forum and dig into this, there's a lot of confusion out there on different hype stickers and matrices. But this was cut by, remastered by Steve Hoffman and Kevin Gray. I believe they kind of teamed up on this. And if their initials are in the dead wax, you're good on this particular reissue. But this album spread across two records, 45 RPM. Don't need to look anymore for any more rumors. I'm keeping that OG just for, it's nice to do ABs on it, and I did an AB 3 weeks ago, and this one won out. So that's it. Just a little bit about my philosophy on how I handle. Am I gonna do an audiophile pressing on something, or am I happy with an OG? It really depends on a few things: condition, availability, and it gets down to price as well. Hey, thanks for watching today, and if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm Tim with the University of Iowa. Have a great day.